Are you struggling to get the selected date from the Angular Material Datepicker? You're not alone. Many developers face this challenge, and today we're going to solve it together. I completely understand how frustrating it can be when you have the code set up, but the value just won't cooperate. This is a common issue, and it's important to get it right for your backend integration. Here's the specific question we're addressing. A user asked how to access the selected value from the Angular Material Datepicker in their code. They provided a snippet but couldn't figure out how to send that date to their backend. Sound familiar? Let's dive into the solution. So what's the issue here? The Angular Material Datepicker allows you to select a date, but accessing that value requires a bit of extra work. We'll break down the steps to ensure you can retrieve that date and send it to your backend seamlessly. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that will make working with Angular Material components even easier. To access the selected date from the Angular Material Datepicker, the user should first bind the datepicker's value to a component property. This allows the user to capture the selected date. Next, the user should update the input field to use the two-way data binding syntax. This will ensure that the selected date is reflected in the component property. Now, to send the selected date to the backend, the user can create a method in the component that triggers when the date is selected. This method can then send the date to the backend using an HTTP request. Finally, the user should ensure that the method is called whenever the date is selected. This can be done by using the Datepicker's selection change event. Fun fact, did you know that the first calendar dates were recorded over 4,000 years ago? Just imagine how far we've come in managing dates and time. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by another user involves utilizing the date change and date input events from the Angular Material Datepicker. You can access the selected date through the event object, which contains three properties: target, target element, and value. The value property holds the date object you need. Now, let's see a response from a different user. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests using the two-way data binding feature of Angular. They recommend implementing the ng-model directive to bind the selected date to a variable. Additionally, they emphasize the importance of including the name attribute in the input field. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always validate the date before sending it to your backend. This ensures that you're not sending any invalid data, which can save you a lot of headaches later on. And there you have it. You should now be able to access the selected date from the Angular Material Datepicker and send it to your backend with ease. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.